Thank you for joining us here on Atlanta News First Plus. We are following breaking news right now. All lanes shut down on I-75 Southbound. This is in the area of Bartow County. As you can see, I'm going to full screen this for you. A 18-wheeler on fire right now, flames emitting from this vehicle, and emergency crews trying to put this fire out as quickly as they possibly can. But as you can imagine, this is a very active, very careful situation. So no traffic is passing through until they can get this under control. We just received this information into the newsroom. This is our Atlanta News First chopper over the scene, getting you as close as we possibly can to what is happening. I know a lot of you are getting off work at this time. This is the middle of the week still, Thursday, and possibly passing through this area, I-75 Southbound. If you are going to be in the area, this is in Bartow County, you're going to want to find some alternate routes. We're going to work on getting you some of those. Right now, all lanes remain shut down in the area. All right, for those of you just joining us, again, all lanes remain shut down on I-75 southbound. This is near Alatoona Road in Bartow County. If you are passing through this area, you got a loved one that takes this route, you're going to want to let them know to tune into this. We are going to continue to follow this until the very end, but right now we're still in beginning stages. As you can see, emergency crews battling that fire still very active. You can still see the flames emitting from this tractor trailer. This is going to be an effort that's going to take quite some time. So for the drivers out there, they're going to be parked for quite a bit. It is a very sensitive situation. Of course, officials shutting down all lanes for everyone's safety until they can get this fire under control and clear traffic enough to allow those drivers to safely pass on through. Right now, that is not happening. This is still at the very beginning of this firefighting effort. Flames still emitting out of this tractor trailer, this 18-wheeler that just appears to be completely destroyed on I-75 southbound. Again, all lanes shut down. If you are taking this route, I-75 southbound near Alatoona Road, you are going to want to pack your patience a little bit. I know that's a little bit of a cliche word, but for those drivers that you saw just moments ago on our Atlanta News First chopper, a lot of them have already put their car in park. They know that this is going to take quite some time. Those emergency crews are working as quickly as they can, as carefully as they can, to make sure that they are able to safely and efficiently bring this fire under control so they can get this roadway cleared off and those motorists, those drivers on the road passing through in a safe manner. We're going to be following for updates. Our Atlanta News First newsroom is hard at work getting you the latest on this story. We are in communication with GDOT and officials that are responding and aware of this situation and clearly on the ground right now, and we're going to keep you updated with minute-by-minute details. Right now, what I'm working on for you guys, trying to get you some alternate routes. Our Atlanta News First meteorology team already on top of this on our Atlanta News First newscast. As you can expect, our first alert traffic is keeping you up to date on this situation. This is a busy roadway, a lot of people getting off work right now, and they are going to be taking this route. You can imagine I-75. This is a heavily trafficked area in Bartow County along Alatoona Road. Again, remember, if you can find some alternate routes, we're going to get those for you. Might want to avoid this area altogether.
And hey there, folks. Thank you for tuning in and for checking out the latest on this incident on the far northwest side, Bartow County. We'll take you back to the maps right now. We've been showing you our first alert chopper feed of this 18-wheeler, kind of more specifically the cargo unit and everything that is in it up in flames. So we're tracking this incident, 75 southbound, though noticing that we are seeing some delays there in both directions. You can see that on your screen right now. Lots of red in and along the perimeter. That's unrelated, but notice both directions, 75, the incident on the southbound side, but delays also on the northbound side. This is near Glade Road, kind of right where the far northwestern tip of Cobb County meets the far southwestern tip of Cherokee County and southeastern tip of Bartow County. They're just south of the lake, kind of near that body of water. So certainly we're going to be watching this. We'll zoom down in. Unfortunately, not looking at a clearing time anytime too soon. Incident being worked, truck fire again. Looks like they're still battling. In fact, we'll bring you to the live picture. First alert chopper still up right now, and we are watching firefighters put out what appears to not just be a container fire, but obviously there's a lot of stuff, for lack of a better term, many items. Not sure what this truck was carrying, but it was kind of putting off a weird colored smoke earlier, kind of a yellow tint to it. And then we see the flames there, and in the part of the cab, or the part of the cargo unit that's closest to the truck cab. And now we're seeing flames. That is smoke burning white at the moment, but earlier it was black. All lanes, both shoulders are closed. This is on the southbound side. All lanes shut down, as you can see there, as fire crews continue to battle. A couple different agencies possibly working this. Battle this cargo fire. Again, 75 southbound, closest road, Glade Road. On the map, that is just east of the lake in far southern Bartow County. Kind of near Groover's Landing Road southeast. So we're getting to some of the marinas, the boat ramps here, and far southeastern Bartow County. And obviously you can see delays in both directions. You know, all lanes are closed southbound side. But no, going northbound on 75, and that's the out-of-town direction. So our PM commuters, they typically are heading northbound on 75 and 575 in this part of town. So thankfully, it's not on the northbound side. Nonetheless, it is still causing delays, folks slowing down, rubbernecking just a bit, looking to see what is happening, because there is a lot to be seen here. And we're going to be watching this pretty closely. Unfortunately, as crews work to extinguish this fire, it doesn't look like this is going to be put out and then cleaned up. Let's not forget, it's not just about putting out the fire, but also cleaning up the mess left behind, making sure the roadway is in safe order before allowing cars to drive that right lane and getting close to that shoulder in particular. That all takes time. So time now is 3:46. Going to take some time to completely clear this. Let's talk about potential alternates, and unfortunately, not any, easy breezy ones, we'll say, but it does look like US 41, as we hop back over to the maps here, going to be your best bet. So 575, let's say you're trying to get to Cartersville. Typically, you stay on 75 right at the 575 cutoff. Your best bet is probably going to be on US 441, maybe cutting over Cobb Parkway in Marietta, getting on US 41, and then you'll travel off to the north and west. You're familiar with this route. It's lower speed limits. There are more stops into and through Kennesaw. Nonetheless, at least you're getting through. As you get through Kennesaw. This is for southbound folks, but northbound could also take this route as well. You can take US 41 all the way towards Emerson, and then you can cut over towards Emerson, and as you cut over, in and near Emerson, getting back to 75, or just taking US 41 all the way to 75 there north of Emerson. This will get you around the incident, which is near Glade Road, kind of highlighting it in red right down there. So taking US 41 south and west of the lake, that'll take you around the crash, but obviously it's going to add time to that 75 drive. So 75 southbound and northbound both impacted, but only the southbound side of 75 is completely closed. So we're going to be watching this pretty closely here the next couple of hours. Of course, these things tend to change minute by minute. You can see crews working very hard, firefighters there working to extinguish the flames. They're quite literally getting right up on this cargo. So what is good is that even though the smoke was burning kind of a weird color earlier, like yellow, they're getting close enough to where I don't think there are any real dangers here chemical-wise. Again, just looking at the scene, they're getting right up on it, and they are trying their hardest. Though you can see all of that debris spilling out of that Abco trailer there, and it's a lot. There's a lot that has to burn. There's a lot of fuel to be burned, so it's going to take a while to put this out, and it probably will occasionally continue to flare up as they work to not only put out what's burning now, but prevent new spot fires from kind of bubbling up. As a lot of things is a lot of this is probably smoldering beneath the surface there, even if it doesn't look like it's burning anymore, probably still is underneath that first initial layer or two, and they're going to have to work to put that out. So again, if you are going on the maps southbound on 75, and that is a section of roadway southbound direction that is closed. You can hook up with US 41 north of Emerson and take US 41 down, crossing the lake south and west of Ackworth, and then you can meet back up with 75. This is going to be there near the Blackwells community, Kennesaw. You can also, it's not plotted on this map as far as travel flow, but there are many streets from Kennesaw that will cut back over to 75. That'll get you around, but you need add an extra 20 to 25 minutes because, of course, US 41 slower speed limits, more stops, more lights compared to interstate travel there, so you will, regardless of the reroute, need some extra minutes into your trip. And if you're going northbound on 75, reminder, northbound lanes, they're open, but it is slow going around the scene of this fire. A lot of folks kind of putting on the brakes and seeing what is going on, I think, near Glade Road on the southbound side, so that will delay you, and possibly US 41 could be a better trip time for you. Of course, if you put it in your maps feature or Waze, it'll plot the quickest trip time for you, but I think US 41 is going to be the best route. Good news for 575 travelers: if you're cutting up towards far north Cobb, South Cherokee, Woodstock, Holly Springs, and it Canton proper, the delays have not yet reached that 575 kind of cutoff. So you're going to go up 75, and that 575 kind of upshoot into Cherokee County so far is not impacted. But it's something we're going to be watching. And of course, this is an evolving situation, and delays likely to linger a while longer, though firefighters are working out here now, bringing up the backhoes, trying to fully. What you're probably going to see happen here is these backhoes, these units are going to get close to the cargo, and they're going to try to spread it out, and then they're going to hose all of the debris off to prevent any smoldering, kind of reignition of fires, because there's a lot of debris that is just smoking and smoldering, and if they just put out what's burning now and left it would probably flare back up during the true cleanup process. So they're going to be working to put this out, and there we go, as we talked about, starting to tear it away, and they're going to be pulling this debris away, trying to kind of scatter everything about, hose everything down to keep this reignition process from happening, because right now we have so much debris in there just smoldering. They make headway on the flames you see now, and then maybe for 2 or 3 minutes it doesn't burn, and then 3 or 4 minutes later you see flames once again. So they have to spread it all out, tear out the mess, hose it all down, put out the fire wholly and completely, and then they will need to clean up the mess, and quite a bit of burn mark there on the roadway, in particular the shoulder. So they might need to inspect to make sure everything is good to go before reopening those lanes. Again, we're here to keep you covered not only on ANF Plus, Atlanta News First Plus, but also in the Atlanta News First app, atlantanewsfirst.com. We'll keep you updated, commuters. Again, headline here is that all lanes currently closed. 75 southbound in southern Bartow County near Glade Road. Best alternate southbound cutting up north of Emerson on US 41. That will add time to your commute, but southbound lanes on US 41 open. Driving to Kennesaw, you can cut back over from Kennesaw back to 75 southbound, as that is south of the incident, and all lanes at that point are reopened. Again, we'll keep you updated here, the digital team, news team as well, across all of our streaming digital platforms. Latest on air as well. Atlanta News First continues right now, digital and live on WANF.
All right, everybody. I had to bring our meteorologist Cutter Martin to talk about some of those alternate routes, and he outlined those really well for us. I have all my notes here from him that he left me with, so we can continue to recommend some of those routes to you if you're joining us halfway through this. We've been following this tractor trailer fire for quite some time. It's an 18-wheeler on I-75 southbound. Here's the latest on what we do know. GDOT saying that clear time right now is 4 o'clock. We are very likely to not meet the 4 o'clock clear time. As you can see, we are in the midst of emergency crews responding to this fire, trying to clear out that debris. As meteorologist Cutter Martin just mentioned, they are trying, at this point, looks like they're trying to prevent smoldering and just tearing this debris, tearing it down so that those flames do not spread. You could see some of that smoke still on this tractor trailer. Earlier, there was some smoky yellow type color. From what we're seeing, that is no longer the case. The smoke has significantly gone down, but you can see from our Atlanta News First chopper, just some of those flames still remain. So this is still a very active battle to extinguish this fire. And then the process of clearing all of that debris off the road so that it's safe to drive on is going to take place. Right now, you can see continued efforts to prevent smoldering, to prevent the spread of this fire, tearing at this debris. Again, not quite sure what this is. You take your best guess in the comments. I'm reading all of them from you guys. Just a lot of items and stuff and cargo in this container. As you could see, just crews trying to break these flames apart very carefully. This is a situation where you have to act fast oftentimes. I'm not a firefighter, so I'm not going to pretend I know exactly the procedure here, but they are acting fast, but they're also, you can see, taking a lot of precaution, making sure that they're doing this as carefully and intentionally as they possibly can. For those that are just jumping on here, as you can see from the lower third I put out, all lanes remain shut down right now on I-75 southbound. This is near Alatuna Road. You're going to want to take Glade Road if you can. Some of those alternate routes mentioned by Cutter Martin, our meteorologist, fantastic updates from him, from the First Alert weather team on Atlanta News First, and coming on here for Atlanta News First Plus for you guys to list out some of those routes. US 41 is going to be your best bet right now. Take that north of Emerson until you can reconnect to I-75, and you should be good from there. The good news right now is northbound lanes don't seem too severely impacted, not as much as these southbound lanes, and the northbound lanes is where most of the traffic is around this time, around a Thursday at 4 p.m. when a lot of people are just getting off of work. But those southbound lanes still impacted. I don't want to take away from the struggles of those drivers that are parked on this interstate right now and just waiting for any development, any movement. If you were with us earlier, we did see briefly they were opening one lane of traffic, letting some of that those drivers through, some of those cars through, and moving people along. My guess at this point is they decided that the situation has escalated, those flames escalated, and they had to shut down all lanes. So you can see those cars parked. Our Atlanta News First chopper, reading my mind, backing up a little so you can just see the miles and miles of traffic that are growing by the minute. Now, at this time, 575 does not appear to be impacted. Traffic has not backed up to that level yet, but it very well could. And if you are someone who is taking 575, if you are someone who knows someone who is, let them know. They're going to want to keep in mind that this area could potentially be impacted by this tractor trailer, this 18-wheeler fire that emergency crews are working to put out. Now, if that is the case, if it does back up to there, US 441 is going to be the way you want to proceed, that alternate route. There are just not a lot of options right now for this area, so the best thing that you can do right now is just to avoid it altogether. If you're passing through this area, you're going to be passing through this area, US 41, take that north of Emerson until you can reconnect to I-75 and proceed from there. Again, we are going to be continuing to follow this. We have been putting out updates as soon as they come into the newsroom, as we're talking to GDOT, as we're talking to some of the people that are addressing this. We're putting that out to you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com and the Atlanta News First app. I can't recommend that app enough. It is free, and those breaking news moments, those First Alert traffic reports, real situations that might impact you, your loved ones, those go directly to your phone. You can customize it if you just want the traffic, if you just want the breaking news, if you want just those two things. Customize that on your phone. Super easy to do. It's 2 clicks, and you can make sure that you are staying up to date. Again, we're going to continue to monitor the situation. I'm going to briefly step away here, guys, to just check in on the progress. I know that we were told 4 o'clock is the clear time. Doesn't look like that's happening anymore, so I'm going to check for that updated clear time from GDOT. Our digital team is going to be continuing to keep you updated on those platforms that I mentioned, and we'll be here on Atlanta News First Plus following this until the very end. All right, there's that double box I brought up just so you can continue to watch what's happening in real time on your left-hand side. Actually, let me bring back the live bug so that you guys know that this is all live and we're taking you out to exactly what we're seeing on Atlanta News First Chopper, learning the latest information. But on the right-hand side, I pulled up GDOT's 511 website. Again, we are in communication with the Georgia Department of Transportation, but this is also a nifty digital tool. That end time still saying 4 o'clock. We're at 4:02 right now, so it might be slightly outdated. We're going to get you an updated and clear time here on Atlanta News First Plus. But right now, that is the information from GDOT that this start time 1:38 p.m. This is when the first initial reports were received and emergency crews started to respond. You can imagine some of those drivers have been sitting there for quite some time, especially those that are more towards the front. They caught the initial part of this, at least the ones that weren't able to get through. As I mentioned earlier, at a certain point in the very beginning, emergency crews were allowing one lane of traffic through, so there was some traffic that eased up just for a brief moment, but since then all lanes have been shut down. The situation was evaluated, and that was the call that was made. Right now those cars remain parked and they are waiting to know when this is going to clear. I'm sure some of them might be watching us right now on Atlanta News First Plus. We're working to get you some of that information, and we're keeping you in mind. Hey, if you are sitting in this, let us know. Drop a comment on our Facebook Live, on our YouTube Live. Let us know what you're seeing. Let us know how long you've been sitting there. Want to hear from you. But right now, we are getting you as up close and personal with this through our Atlanta News First Chopper. If you are stuck in this and maybe you're too far to see what's going on, what's delaying you, what's got you parked, that is it. So I'm going to check in on some other updates for you guys, but the main thing you need to know right now, all lanes remain shut down, emergency crews visibly on the scene. I don't think I see any more flames. There might still be some deeper in this tractor trailer, but you can see some of that smoke still emitting from this 18-wheeler and just a lot of debris on the road. So it doesn't end when this fire is put out. This the next step in this is to clear all of that from the roadways so those drivers can start to pass through safely. All right, the latest update right now, those lanes are going to remain shut down. I-75 Southbound in Bartow County. This is right near Glade Road. A lot of people were asking, again, for those alternate routes. We had our meteorologist, Cutter Martin, here earlier just outlining where you should go if you're just trying to avoid this area. If you know that I-75 southbound, especially right along Alatoona Road, right near Glade Road, is an area you are going to be passing through, you're going to want to reconsider that just for right now. Some alternate routes for you. US 41 is going to be your best bet. This has not backed up to 575 just yet, so you're safe if you're taking that route, but if it does, US 441 is going to be your next bet. And I believe we just lost our Atlanta News First chopper signal. I'm going to give you guys the latest updates. We're going to continue to follow this. The latest from GDOT saying that anticipated end time is 4 o'clock. I do believe we have an update we're working on. It is obviously 4:06, so this information just slightly outdated, but that start time tells you how long some of these drivers have been sitting there waiting for this scene to clear. 1:38 is when initial reports came in, when those emergency crews started responding. Right now I'm looking through some of your comments here on Facebook, just trying to get you guys some information, but again, you just want to avoid this area altogether. This is an 18-wheeler fire. Looks like a lot of progress has been made to put out these flames. Some of that smoke remains from what we just saw. We're going to keep you updated on atlantanewsfirst.com. Download the Atlanta News First app. That is where we'll give you updates as soon as a single lane or all lanes clear up. You will know from us on that app. It's the easiest ways to stay up to date. And these types of updates, if you want to see up close and personal what's going on, that is also available in the app for you for free. So again, our job is to keep you updated on what's going on, give you those progress reports. Right now, we don't have our Atlanta News First chopper, but we are following minute by minute details on atlantanewsfirst.com. And of course, you can tune in to Atlanta News First. We are in newscast right now, staying up to date on this information and following this story. For now, I'm Maria Moreau. Thanks for joining us on Atlanta News First Plus.